around 3 a.m., 65-year-old Jack, 69-year-old Kay, and 43-year-old Tiffany were all asleep at home when two masked intruders cut their electricity and kicked in the front door.
Petrifying. Cut your electricity.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 105. This is Rachel speaking. I'll be telling you a story today.
And me too. She'll be telling me. I don't know who you're doing.
Oh, I know. Love that. I don't have much at the top, really. Much to some of y'all's dismay, much to some of y'all's enjoyment. I don't know. But we saw each other yesterday for Father's Day, and we've already talked about everything. We've already caught up. So I'm just going to jump in.
We had a lovely Father's Day brunch. You know what? We deserved it. Really did.
For real. Bless us. Just kidding. Okay. Yeah. Happy belated Father's Day to all,
and all of our hard
all
work.
You dads out there. And y'all rock. Okay. I'm going to tell y'all about Barry Titus. Sources: court documents, people.com, several articles from the Oklahoman, and KFOR.com. Trigger warning, this has some domestic violence in it. Keegan Harroz was born just outside of Dallas in 1983. After graduating high school in 2000, she went on to study at SMU before transferring to Texas Tech, where she graduated in 2005, and then went on to law school at Oklahoma City University.
Another SMU student. I did the Hargan family a couple episodes ago.
That's right.
If you recall.
That's right. Another former Southern Methodist University student. Keegan started working as a public defender in 2010, but rose through the ranks pretty quickly professionally. In 2014, at only 31 years old, she opened her own law firm in Oklahoma City called Harroz Law. She was very sought after, and her former boyfriend and law partner, David Bedford, said, quote, she was smart and effective, and judges really respected her.
Great. I'm loving this story so far.
Oh, good. Yeah, see? Just rising the ranks in a man's world. That's what it's about.
That's what it's about.
Keegan also volunteered in her free time, specifically with a veterans diversion program, which gives veterans who are charged with certain crimes the help they need in addressing underlying issues such as PTSD and serve as an alternative to prison. Volunteering here is where she met a woman named Lisa Weismiller in 2013. Lisa was a veteran who was part of the diversion program. Due to her PTSD, she developed a drug addiction and had some run-ins with the law, which is how she ended up there. Keegan gave her legal advice and really went above and beyond for her. When Lisa had back surgery, Keegan drove her to and from the hospital. She got her medications from the pharmacy and even cleaned her house while she was recovering. So, very thoughtful.
That is lovely. Yeah.
Right? In October 2018, Keegan was contacted by a client who she had represented before in a drug and firearms case. His name was Barry Titus, and Barry has a pretty lengthy rap sheet, obviously, because remember when I just said that she represented him in a drug and firearms case?
Sure.
He's no stranger to a felony. And this time he was being charged with domestic assault and battery by his ex-girlfriend, Tiffany Eichor. So he hired Keegan to represent him again. So let me tell you about this piece of shit and what happened between he and Tiffany.
Okay. Please do.
In August 2017, 39-year-old Barry and 41-year-old Tiffany met on Tinder. Barry was a crane operator and worked at a dent repair company, and Tiffany was a medical technician living in Beggs, Oklahoma, which is a tiny town outside of Oklahoma City. About a month into their relationship, he started abusing her. He would kick her, hit her, strangle her. He was also a big drug user, particularly of meth and heroin, which he then turned her onto as a way to control her.
Oh my God.
3 months into their relationship, in November 2017, he beat her so badly that she was going in and out of consciousness. Whenever she did pass out, he'd pour water on her to wake her up and then beat her up more until she passed out again.
Oh my God, a monster.
I know. She ended up in the hospital with cracked ribs, a lacerated liver, lacerated kidney, and bruises on her arms, legs, stomach, and neck.
Wait, how do you get a lacerated Was he stabbing her?
No, I don't know if he was just kicking her that hard. I don't know.
Ow.
She ended up not filing charges, sadly. As we know, most victims are terrified to do so, so they continued dating after this. In February 2018, Barry was arrested in Colorado. I'm not sure why. Again, he loved jail, so it could have been anything.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany drove up to get him, and when they were driving back to Oklahoma, they made a pit stop in Amarillo, and while there, they got into a fight where he pistol whipped her.
Whoa.
I know. Someone saw the whole thing and immediately called the police. I think they were at like a gas station or something. So cops came, and again, she didn't file charges, but soon after this, she cut off all communication from him and started therapy.
Oh, good.
After a few months in therapy, she finally gained the strength to go to the police about the abuse, specifically the attack in November 2017, where she ended up in the hospital. And he was charged with domestic assault and battery in October 2018, and Tiffany was granted a restraining order.
Great.
So that's when he hired Keegan, his old attorney.
Oh, I have a feeling he's not going to honor a restraining order, but we'll see.
We'll see. Barry was determined to get all the charges dropped and would do anything to make Tiffany seem uncredible. In January 2019, 2 months after she pressed charges, Tiffany was at home with her parents, Jack and Kay Chandler, who she lived with, when she noticed a suspicious package on their front porch. She opened it and it was full of white powder, seemingly drugs. So she called the police, and when they tested it, it turned out to be powdered sugar.
Oh.
I know. They didn't know who left it, but they were confident that it was likely Barry trying to scare her into dropping the charges.
I thought it was going to be anthrax.
Nah. On March 5th, 2019, they had a hearing where Barry was offered a plea deal for 10 years in prison. He wasn't sure what to do, but I guess he had time to consider it, because the next day he texted his dad telling him about the plea offer and said in the text, quote, "I don't know what the hell to do other than pray that she gets into a car wreck and dies because of the karma from trying to take my life, or spend the next 30 days saying goodbye to everyone I love before I die. You're not the victim."
Oh my, no, you're not. Oh my God, he is a monster.
Right. Her karma is to die in a car wreck because you're going to prison because you damn near killed her.
Right. Fuck off.
Anyway, this pending case really shook Tiffany and her family. They knew what he was capable of and feared for their lives. One of her dad's Jack, one of his colleagues offered him a gun for protection, but Jack said no thanks because Kay didn't want guns in the house. But Jack did install security cameras, which, thank God.
Okay. Yeah.
Later in March 2019, one of Tiffany's sisters came to visit and said that Tiffany wouldn't close her bedroom door at night and slept with all the lights on top of the bedspread with just a throw blanket. She just said she felt safer that way.
Yeah, so she could get out of bed immediately.
Yeah. After almost a year of living like this and still with the trial date pending, on September 6, 2019, at around 3 a.m., 65-year-old Jack, 69-year-old Kay, and 43-year-old Tiffany were all asleep at home when two masked intruders cut their electricity and kicked in the front door.
Petrifying. Cut your electricity.
Oof. It's horrifying. They went into Jack and Kay's bedroom and started firing bullets. Jack was shot and killed first, and in the dark chaos, Kay ran into the closet to hide, but they found her, and then she was also shot and killed. Upon hearing the chaos, Tiffany woke up, walked out into the hallway where she saw the killers, and turned around to run. They chased her, shooting her in the back several times, and the court document described her death as especially heinous because she suffered serious physical abuse and torture before and during her death.
Ooh. Oh, God.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah, it's terrible.
The next day, around 3 p.m., a family member, I believe it was Kay's brother, went over to the house and found this horrific scene and immediately called 911. When police got there, they connect the power back on and see that the oven's clock was set at 3:04 a.m., which is how they're able to pinpoint what time this all happened.
Yeah.
They also realized that the house was equipped with security cameras, so they pull the footage and see that around that time, a light-colored car pulls up to the house, parks in the street. Again, two people get out. They're masked, so you can't see faces, but they walk up to the house, and then the video cuts, which is when they likely cut the electricity.
Yeah.
Inside the house, there are several shell casings from at least 2 different caliber guns. They collected several samples of DNA, including from a baseball hat found on the street near where the car was parked from the security footage. And they got a boot impression from a footprint found on the scene.
Sloppy.
Yeah, sloppy work. That's right. So this was a huge shock to this tiny rural town with a population of like 1,200 currently. Triple murders are certainly not the norm, so people are freaking out, and those who knew the family are devastated. Tiffany's friends, I just love this. Tiffany's friends and coworkers said she was a good person without a mean bone in her body. They also noted that she loved her R2-D2 slippers and wore fun t-shirts at work.
Fun. Oh, love it.
It's cute. I know.
Cute.
Yeah. Jack and Kay's close circle was also shocked, saying, quote, "It was uncalled for. Jack was building up a little nest egg so he could finally retire." They talked to the family member who found the bodies and called 911, and he told them about Tiffany's ex-boyfriend, Barry, the domestic violence, the restraining order, all of it. So they're like, okay, well, that's an easy suspect. Talk about a motive. Like, the trial hasn't happened yet. All these people are testifying. You get it. So they start looking hard at Barry, obviously. And then they start investigating who the accomplice could be. On September 13th, 2019, about a week after the murders, police got a call from a man named Jacob Kelly. Jacob told them that he was in possession of an AR-15 that he believed was used in the triple murder, and he wanted to turn it in. And they're like, what's that now?
Why does he believe this?
Tell us more.
Yeah.
He would not say. That's all the information he's going to give. He said he's not responsible. He's not the accomplice, but it was given to him and he thinks it's the murder weapon. Take it, and I'm not telling you anything else.
Oh, wow.
So investigators get the AR-15 and hand it over to the ATF, who trace it back to the original owner, a guy named Eric Schuster. Eric lived in an even more rural Oklahoma town and had a shooting range on his property. Police go to talk to him, and he tells them that in July 2019, a man he's known for years, named Barry Titus, reached out to him on Facebook about buying an AR-15. Eric said, sure, and bought the receiver of the gun elsewhere, and then built out the rest.
Oh, God.
When Barry came to buy it in August 2019, he brought his new girlfriend, who Eric didn't know. Barry, Eric, and the girlfriend negotiated pricing and even tested the gun at the shooting range.
What if you were dating this guy and he wanted to buy a gun? He wanted you to go with him to buy a gun to get revenge on his ex-girlfriend who he abused. Like, at what point do you break up with that boyfriend? Come on.
Well, we'll find out if she's, being duped or fallen victim to him too, and is like under his spell as well. We don't know.
Oh, I'm sure she's fallen victim to his abuse, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, well, right. But you know what I could do is tell you the rest of the story.
Okay, we'll try that. That sounds good.
After the purchase, the woman went to the car and pulled out another AR-15, brought it back to the shooting range where she and Barry fired a couple more rounds with that before leaving.
Oh, God.
Eric then told police that no one had been to the shooting range since then. So they're like, great, let's go collect all those shells and test them against the ones found at the scene.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out the AR-15 that they had gotten from the car, the second one, was an exact match for the shells found at the murder scene.
Oh, no.
I know. So no surprise, this piece of shit Barry is involved in this. Mm-hmm. But to everyone's surprise, they find out who his new girlfriend is and who helped him. And on September 13th, 2019, they walk into the county offices and arrest defense attorney Keegan Harroz.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
I am serious.
You idiot. I need a moment to let this soak in. Hold on. What an idiot.
You just wait.
You had everything going for you, and you just piss it all away for some lowlife. Okay.
Low life indeed. I mean.
And you left all this DNA. I'm so sorry. Sorry. I'm stuck on it for a second. You left all this DNA. You are very sloppy, you stupid defense attorney.
Both of them. Like, it's just one of yet another. Who do you think you are? You're in a domestic violence pending case against her. You are 100% the first one they're going to. It's just, I can't. Who do people think they are? Is the only question I have.
They're the worst.
I know. Jacob Kelly, the guy who called about having the AR-15 that he thought was involved, is Keegan's brother.
Oh my God.
Right after Jacob turned in the gun and they realized that was Keegan's brother, a man named Jose Uribe came to chat with them. Jose had a drug trafficking charge that he was trying to get some leniency on. So he was like, Oh, hey, I have some information. Back in January, my attorney, Keegan Harroz, asked me to plant meth on this family's front porch. I knew it could be leverage, so instead, I planted powdered sugar and just kept this info in my back pocket.
Love Jose.
Jose.
Every story has an MVP, and today's is Jose.
Oh, and Jacob Kelly. Good.
Oh, no,
you turn
sure.
in that gun when your sister comes to you and says, will you hide this for me? You say, ooh,
Sure.
I don't think so. So Barry did not put the fake drugs on the front porch. That was not him. Keegan advised her other client to do it. And she wanted real drugs, by the way. He put the powdered sugar.
Right. So, yeah, let's loop in more people. Are you stupid? Okay. Jose has no loyalty.
I'm glad they're stupid, obviously.
Oh, I know that, but I love to just talk shit about stupidity, obviously.
Oh, I know. It's so good. This isn't the first time Keegan was in trouble with the law. In May 2014, her then husband, Nicholas Harris, called the police after she beat the shit out of him. Apparently, they got in a fight and she kicked him in the face twice. The responding officer said Nicholas had blood on his left ear, swollen lumps on his face, abrasions on his forehead, cheek, bridge of his nose. Like, he clearly got the shit beat out of him. And I don't really know what happened during that police response, but she ended up being charged with domestic assault on Nicholas and assault and battery of a police officer.
Oh, she didn't take it well, is what that means.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, how did she not lose her license? Okay.
Her husband dropped the charges.
Oh.
So she went on to be this sought-after criminal defense attorney. But the day of her arrest, her former law partner and ex-boyfriend, David Bedford, who I quoted earlier, also came forward and said, I tried to warn y'all. David said that he went to the Bar Association months earlier with concerns about Keegan, especially when he found out that she was dating her client, Barry. He said it was a match made in hell. He said her decision-making went down the tubes when they started dating. She stopped showing up at work. Her attitude was indifferent. She was not communicating. She just started changing. And so he filed a bar complaint against her.
I'm like shocked here. If anything, if nothing else, conflict of interest. You can't date your client. You can't date Barry. You're representing him?
Oh.
What is happening here?
Right. Lisa, who I also mentioned earlier, the one that Keegan met volunteering, said the same thing pretty much that David said. She had hired Keegan as her attorney and said one day in May 2019, she went over to her house specifically to discuss her case, but it never happened because Keegan was just all consumed with Barry. She said she just lost her focus completely.
Oh, God. She's like a lovesick middle schooler.
I know.
Except you're an adult and should know better.
Oh, I know. And you've represented this scumbag before. Now you were contacted by him for even worse charges, way worse. And you start dating him? This is what you want to start dating him now? Ugh.
Ew. Well, she's not right.
Right. So Barry and Keegan are both arrested, but not for the triple murder yet. While investigators build their case and continue gathering evidence, they're both arrested on firearm charges. Since she was the one who bought the AR-15, Keegan was, she was charged with being a prohibited person unlawfully in possession of a firearm because apparently her ex, David Bedford, had a protective order out against her. And while that was in place, she was not allowed to have a gun.
Oh my God. How is she allowed to practice law? The dipshittery again. I just can't.
I know. So at the end of October 2019, she pled guilty and was sentenced to 24 months in jail for that charge. She also faced charges of intimidating a witness for the stunt she pulled trying to have meth dropped off on Tiffany's front doorstep. Barry was found guilty of the same charges and sentenced to 36 months in prison. So with them both locked up, investigators continued collecting evidence. During a search of Keegan's house, it came out, you know how you said, wow, you should never date a client. It's a conflict of interest. You should also definitely not marry your client.
Oh, they got married?
When they searched the house, it came out that they may have actually been married, not dating. I don't know what they found. Every source said that. A search of the house revealed that they actually may have been married. I'm like, marriage certificate? What'd y'all find?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, man. The DNA results from the baseball hat found at the scene and other DNA samples from the house finally came back with a hit from CODIS, exact match to Barry.
Like, Okay. Clean up. Again, glad that y'all are dipshits, but like, really? You left your hat? Maybe y'all wanted to get caught. Something.
I can't imagine what the plan. I mean, he's definitely on drugs. I don't know if she was, but like,
Right.
wow, that judgment call was spot on.
Dead on. Uh-huh.
You're nailing it.
Mm-hmm.
The car pulling up to the Chandler's house on the surveillance camera was confirmed to be Keegan's Lexus. Drove her own car.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I just can't.
You did great.
Sorry.
Y'all did great today.
And is this so annoying, listeners? Like, thing after thing, I'm like, if anyone, bitch, you're an expert. You are an expert.
Right. That's what I'm like, you had to have wanted to get caught. Yeah.
You're a criminal defense attorney. You've been to trial. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Blessed.
Oh my God. Thank God.
Thank God. And then again, the ballistics test that matched the AR-15 they bought, or that they had, it's just, none of it's good.
Yeah. Sure.
So in April 2021, while they were both still in jail, they were both charged with the triple murder of Tiffany, Jack, and Kay. In March 2022, the DA announced that they're going to be seeking the death penalty. Their trial is expected to start later this year, but if Keegan is found guilty and sentenced to death, she'll only be the second woman on death row in Oklahoma.
Oh, damn.
I know. And that's the sad murder of Jack and Kay Chandler and Tiffany Eichor, and the pieces of shit Keegan and Barry, who traded his 10-year sentence for a possible seat on death row, and Keegan, who just like threw her life away, and she had a law firm and was doing fine. The last little bitching sesh about them, you know?
So cocky, those two.
They had to have been on drugs to think that this is how you do it and this is how you're going to get away with anything.
Right.
I mean, even if it was the perfect crime, Barry, you're still number one suspect.
Right.
By far.
Oh, yeah. The dipshitter
Whatever.
is fantastic. That
That's
was
true.
incredible.
Gosh.
I'm so glad. It was a great story.
I know. Well, I usually like to wait until a trial's happened, but I was baffled by this. I did not think client turned lover. I didn't think she was going to be looped into this. I actually initially thought it may be a double victim, and it was going to be sad.
That's what I
was
thought.
like, well, wait a minute. What do you mean? God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I bet she's a laughing stock on the internet. I bet Reddit has torn her apart.
Oh, there's a lot on Reddit. Patrons, Brittany, Christy, Kelly, Morgan, Christine, Kayla. Thank y'all for joining.
Welcome and thank you.
Welcome. And I have a custom shout out from Kelsey. I would like to use my custom shout out for my baby sister, so I asked her to write what she would like to say. Bishop & Co. Bows is run by a mama of 2 girls who has a passion to teach children that they can express themselves in many different ways. She has donated to fundraisers for children, and she hopes to one day start an organization to raise awareness for Horner syndrome, a lifelong syndrome her youngest daughter has. Aww. She's dedicated to helping other businesses blossom and becoming successful like hers, and hers has been. She offers bows in 10 plus different styles and occasionally offers headbands for moms, aunts, any women who want to match their little. You can find her on Facebook at Bishop + Co. So Bishop & Co, but the and's a plus sign. Bishop & Co.'s Bows, VIP, or www.shopbishopandco.com. And in the website, it's A&D, you know.
Oh, right. Sure. Oh, awesome. Okay. Love a small biz shout out.
That's awesome. I love a small biz shout out too, and to raise awareness for Horner syndrome.
Yeah.
Which I have to look up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But good one. Good shout, Kelsey, and Kelsey's little sister.
Yeah.
Go, girlfriend.
Get it. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Well, y'all, thank y'all so much for listening.
Y'all are the best. People are the worst.
Bye.